So if any of you guys have been thinking about buying queen bees in this video we will be looking at Northumberland Honey's Buckfast Queens. We bought some of these queens last year, we overwintered in nukes, and this year is the first time we've actually got them to full-size hives. So in this video we're going to be doing a full hive inspection, going through the supers, into the brood box, looking how much nectar they're bringing in, looking at the temperament, looking at the brood pattern and how easy they are to work with. If we take off some honey at the end of the video, which we will be taking some honey off, we'll be looking at how much honey we can take off. So let's get straight into it. So this is Luke and Susie's Northumberland Honey's Buckfast Queen. So we've had a season now. We got them at the back end of last season and overwintered them in a nuke, and then we've put them to work as of spring this year, put them into a hive. So as you can see, the format we've got them on a single brood, national, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 supers on. What we'll do, we'll take the roof off and go through, have a right good look through, see what they brought in, see what the brood nest looks like at the minute. I must admit I've not checked the brood for a little while now, and just make sure she's still there. So we'll crack on and get into it. So we'll get straight in. We'll take crown board, let's see what we've got at the top here. But we've got bees right the way to the top, which is a good sign. The plan is today is obviously take off a bit of honey as well. I'm sort of trying to get ready for the heather, which are going to start taking hives up in a week or two's time. So this is the top box. We'll take a centre frame out, see what we're looking like on the centre frame. Centre frame, and as you can probably tell, that is absolutely chocker. Both sides, you can get the sun in a nice place. It's a nice sort of reddish honey, and by the looks of things this box is completely capped all the way through. Let's take an end frame out, see what the end frames are, because I tend to leave the end ones till last. We've just started to cap off the end frame. There's nectar in that side, so you'd test that probably with your refractor just to make sure it's not too wet. But with the amount of potentially capped honey, it should sort of even itself out. Right, so that's the top box. Let's just go for the box underneath. Very heavy box. So second super down. Let's have a look at this, but we've still got a lot of bees. Midlish frame, pretty much starting to cap it over. Same on the back side, looks good. The other frames pretty much look the same. That's what we'll do. We'll take off what we can take off today. If it's fully capped, quite happily take that off. If it's a little bit wet still, I'll probably just leave it with them and juggle some frames about in some of the other boxes, but again, that's another. It's not as capped that side, but that side it looks good. So again, another good box of honey. Bees seem alright, but obviously we're not in the brood box at the minute. They're probably quite young bees at the top of here. So as we'll work into the brood, we'll see what they're like. But we'll go down to the next super down, see what we've got under here. What's this box feel like weight wise? Yeah, it's pretty heavy. So this is just the box underneath. So with a third box down, we're taking the top two off. Middle frame, there's a bit of pollen in there, nets around the outside. So I suspect I probably had this directly above the brood box at one stage in the last few weeks. So we'll just go a little bit further out. As you can see, we've got 11 frames in this one. A little bit lighter again. Sort of left out in the middle a little bit, so yeah, these must have been right directly above the brood, I think. So, which is fine, we'll just leave this box on and they can sort of carry on with this. So potentially we'll take those two boxes off. What I'll do, I'll just probably pop this to one side down here as well. There's a bit in this bottom box, you sort of work in the middle of it a little bit, but you're getting towards the outsides. So they're filling that with nectar, but they're sort of working it still. So that's fine. So we could take a couple of boxes off, which is good. I'll try and get into the brood now and see what they're like. So right, we're into the brood box now. You can see, let's see what they're like. Well, not using any smoke, but however the day is very nice. It's probably one of the hottest days that we've had for a while. I think it's going to be about 23, 24 degrees. Probably a little bit warmer than that in the sun. Just make sure Queenie's not on the underside there. So we'll just start at the back, give herself a little bit of room. Just go nice and slowly, it's not a race. So if you start rushing through, squashing bees, that's when everybody's going to get aggro, no matter what nice queen you've got in your hive. They could soon turn on you a little bit. This is the end frame, so they tend to start bunging that up with stores. There's some nectar on there, some like pollen and nectar mixture there for young bees. So on the back side of that it's pretty dry, maybe a little bit of pollen on that bottom centre. So we'll just pop that there. It'll be interesting to see how many frames of brood we got now. We are at the end of July. I think August the 1st is around Wednesday or something like that of this week coming. It's Sunday now. But we've got a full frame of brood there. Right to the edges. Worker brood as well, which is good. Not many holes. This is a good time of year to carry out some disease inspections as well. Just make sure you've got no obvious signs. We'll have a look at some larvae to check for that. But that's interesting that we've got brood already. Looks like we've got signs of Himalayan balsam coming in as well. Some bees with some white stripes down the back. We have the river swale up here in Richmond, so yeah, we'll tend to get a lot of balsam. A lot of young bees on this frame, which is good. Hatched out. Got any eggs in there? Some young larvae, very young larvae, so I suspect she is still in here somewhere. So a little bit of extra comb at the end there. It can be a little bit annoying sometimes, but because they can hide queen cells in there quite happily. But so far we've just got some worker brood hatching out. We've got some young larvae. Not seen the queen, but I've not seen any obvious signs of queen cells yet either, so I'm not too concerned. The flow's just starting to slow down a little bit up here now, and I think after the first couple of weeks in August, even the first week in August, will be pretty much there or thereabouts. It'll be steadying right down. I think the brood nest will be shrinking down. But the plan is for this hive, we're going to take this up to our new header site, which I'm hopefully going to get up to this week and take some stands up. It's a very, very nice site. You shall see it on the channel very soon. Again, good frame, a lot of pollen and nectar in this frame. A little bit of drone brood. Again, no signs of queen cells or anything like that. Some young larvae. Some nice healthy larvae. Try and get that on camera with the sun. You want to see that larvae in this bottom corner. Nice and white as you can get it. And that's what you want to see. If it's slightly off colour or anything like that that's contorted, you might have a problem. It's worth just ringing your local bee inspector or just speaking to an experienced beekeeper or your mentor. Not seen the queen yet. It'd be nice to get her on video, considering that's what we're doing a video about. As you can see, the temperament's really nice. Again, it's a nice warm day, so you know, you pick your time to do your inspections if you can. That's another good frame. That's a lot of worker brood. Again, nice larvae in there. Try and get the sun behind it. Get your eyes to have a look in the centre of the frame there. We have eggs in this bottom middle, so we'll try and find her. She could be at this end of the hive. No, I think she's going to elude us on this inspection, but it's not a problem. We've still got plenty of bees. I've seen eggs. I haven't seen any queen cells that have potentially hatched out or anything like that, so I am pretty confident that she's still in here. We'll pop all this back together and then we'll sort of clear these supers down. I've got another box to put on just to give them some space. We'll build this back up and then we'll clear these top big boxes. I've got another box to put on, and then we'll have a bit of a summarise, see what I think. But so far, I'm pretty happy. I have split these down a couple of times throughout the season because they were getting huge. You do have to give them the room. Right, we'll build this back up. Just put the queen excluder back on, and then we'll put the two supers on that don't have a lot in. They'll put them back on and they can work them. There is nectar in them, so I'm not taking all the honey off them. I'll just drop the snail into there. That's doomed now. And we'll just get this back on. This is actually quite a heavy super, but like I say, it's not quite there yet, rather it being capped off. But right, this is just a wet box that I've put back on just to give them that space. And we'll do the same technique as we did on the last video with the Bee Quick spray. It smells like almonds, Battenberg, marzipan sort of smell. They really don't like it and they just go down. It says it's organic and everything, but it's just nice to clear, you know, a couple of boxes. So what we'll do, move these over again. Heavy. Oh, that's really heavy. Like we did the last video, just lay it on. Bees start roaring. Right, we'll have a sneaky peek in here and see what it's been like. Obviously there's a lot more bees in these hives, I think, compared to the other hives. You can see, you can hear them roaring. This is the top box, and put that on for a few more minutes. They've actually gone down a bit, but there's still obviously quite a lot of bees in here. Again, we'll just lay this over the top. Haven't put any more spray on. So we'll spin those boxes out at home. See the one in the distance there. There's still a few bees in there I need to sort out. But we've got 3 boxes on there, and then the 2 boxes we'll spin out will leave empty drawns ready for the heather, because that's really how you want to work that. But as you can see, I've never really had this amount of honey off a summer crop. So I am quite impressed. It'd be interesting to see how much we get overall at the end of the season. But yeah, I think Luke and Susie's queens really have performed really well. I'm really happy with them. I'll certainly buy one again. But yeah, we'll get these boxes home and we'll get them spun out and see how well they've actually done. So I hope you agree with me. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how well they have performed. Value for money, I think, is astonishing. I mean, the amount of honey that we're going to get off them is just by far going to exceed what it actually costs to buy them. The temperament was really good, as you can clearly see. I didn't use any smoke, but it was a nice sunny day. It was midday, so a lot of your flying bees are out, so there's a lot of the younger bees in. Obviously we pulled off some honey, and I do believe it's about 19 kilos. I've actually put those boxes back on, and when I was about to take them to the heather, I checked and they actually filled the boxes back up again. So I've decided to leave that hive where it is. They are well and truly on the balsam now. They are bringing in lots of balsam, so I'm just going to see how much more they can actually bring in. For me personally, I would not have a problem of buying those queens again. I think they're absolutely fantastic, and I do like the way they set them out on the website. They give a detailed view of like the mothers to the daughters that we're going to be buying. I think that's just a really nice touch, and I haven't really seen it on anybody else's website but theirs. I'll put the link in the description to Northumberland Honey Queens. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got right to the end and watched all the way through, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.